Hi, this is Leo. Welcome to the Caitos Nutrition Show. I believe this is episode 7, and we are going to be talking about the P word. A term that I learned when I was getting my personal training certificate or degree, it's called periodization. And I always knew what periodization was because I applied it to myself and to all of my clients, but I never knew the technical word or term for it. So what periodization is changing or alternating the level of intensity in the gym certain times a year. Or it's implementing different phases of training certain times a year. Okay, so there's an old saying, it's a very, very good old saying that I kind of live by, and it's champions are made in the off season. So what that means is you take an athlete like Michael Phelps, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Tiger Woods, an elite athlete, and you don't have to be an elite athlete. You can be a high school kid just starting out, working out with weights, but the same logic applies. So an athlete has an in-season and an off-season. And an in-season would be, say, wrestling right now. Wrestling is in-season. And wrestlers are trying to perform the best that they can. They're going to wrestle the best to their ability and try and win as many matches as possible. So what they did prior to their season, which would be the summertime and springtime, is they tried to get stronger and bigger and faster. So they play better in the off season. Right now, the wrestlers, they're working out, they're spending time in the gym, but their main focus is their sport. So they're maintaining the gains that they made in the off season, but the last thing on their mind is working out. It's performing the sport of choice. So you take someone like Michael Phelps. He's getting ready for the Olympics, say, and it's his off season, and he's improving. He's improving on his strength, his speed, his times. So he comes into the games and he swims faster, harder, longer, stronger. So the last thing on his mind during his season is getting stronger or faster. It's playing the best he can. So periodization is something that very few people, they don't know about it, but they don't know how to apply it. And what they do is they just go to a gym and they just spin their wheels and they hope for the best. But you can't just train average all the time. You're going to look average and your gains are going to be average all the time. So what you need to do is split it up into phases. So I'm going to give you you have to do a little visualizing here. I'm going to draw a circle, okay? And at the top of the circle is going to have the word growth. And at the bottom of the circle is going to have the word rest, which rest is the complete opposite of growth. So if we're in a growth phase, your training level, intensity level should be off the charts, 100%. You can do that for about 1 to 2 months, and then your body's going to start to wear out, especially your nervous system. During a workout of any kind, your muscles get taxed, but your nervous system, your central nervous system or CNS, gets just annihilated. So it can take days for your nervous system to recover. The muscle can recover fairly quick with adequate rest and nutrition, but the nervous system is what takes sometimes days or weeks to recuperate from heavy training. So I could usually do a growth phase for 1 to 2 months, anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks, and then my body's going to start to tell me it's time to shut it down. Little aches and pains, maybe some nagging injuries, just don't have the motivation, the intensity level, the energy. Your body's going to tell you, hey, it's time to back off. So like I say, it's a very individual thing. You might be able to go for over 8 weeks or 9 weeks, 10 weeks. So you want to listen to your body. And when your body tells you it's time to shut down, it's time to shut it down. So the opposite, the bottom of the circle that I drew, imaginarily drew, is the word rest. And rest means doing nothing, not going to the gym for anything, cardio, working out. You're healing. That is your healing phase. And you certainly won't experience any muscle loss or atrophy. You will actually grow. And you can probably relate to, anytime you've taken a vacation, a week or two off, you come back, you look better, you're fuller, you're bigger, you're stronger in the gym. You grow. You don't atrophy after a week or two off. You literally grow. So that time is your rest. And I usually do that for a week or two. Once again, it's an individual thing. You'll know when your body says, okay, it's time to get back in the gym. So the phase between growth and rest, I call it maintenance. And that would be the half point of the circle. And the maintenance phase is just putting blood to the muscle. I would call it 50%, 50 to 60%. And you're just starting to ramp up for the next growth phase. So that maintenance phase would take anywhere from a month or even 2 months. And like I say, you're just in the gym, bringing blood to a muscle. You're not certainly reaching failure. You're not really sweating a whole lot. It's a step above rest, and you're gearing up for your next growth phase. So let's say that you start a growth phase in January, and you go for January and all of February. It's raw, it's 100% intensity, you're living the perfect lifestyle, you're growing. And then the opposite of the circle would be rest. And you're taking a week or two off, not going to the gym, you're healing. And then let's say it's mid-March and you're back to the gym in your maintenance phase. And you do that for, say, the next 2 weeks, and then let's say all of April. And then May, it's time for another growth phase. And then you just repeat it. You do that for a month or two, and then you rest, and then you have your maintenance phase. So I usually do a growth phase, 2 to 3 times a year, just depending upon my progress, depending upon all the variables that go with it. But usually I'll target with a client or myself 2 to 3 growth phases a year. And when you start applying or implementing periodization, progress, lots of growth, your numbers go up, your strength goes up, everything just gets better. You're growing, and that's why your 3 sets of 10 just don't work all the time. They might be good for someone in grade school who's just starting out, but it all comes down to how much damage you can do in a gym in the shortest period of time in that growth phase. So I'm going to talk about many different ways to bring the muscle to failure, or as I call them, principles. What different things you should be doing in the gym instead of your 3 sets of 10 that just aren't enough and just don't work. So try and apply this theory of periodization, and I guarantee your training is going to reach a level you never thought possible. So thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you listening, and I hope you're learning lots from this podcast. And there'll be a lot more information to come on dieting, supplementation, losing body fat, training tips, anything and everything to do with changing the way you look and being healthy. So please share and subscribe to the link below. And once again, I really appreciate all of you listening.